I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you a test problem. And by now you must have noticed that my test problems are real problems which you can expect in your test. So this is for the students doing advanced functions, grade 12, unit 3. The polynomial f of x equals to x cubed plus p of x squared minus x minus 2. P belongs to real numbers, has x minus 1 as a factor. What is the value of p? Solve the question in two different ways, and that is how this question is kind of critical. So what are the two different ways in which you can solve? You can pause the video, solve, and look into my suggestion. Well, what we've learned here is factor theorem, long division, synthetic divisions. These are three different ways. So we'll solve actually in all the three different ways, and then you can select the two. I'll recommend first one should be using the factor given to us, which is x minus 1. What does it mean? It really means that f of 1 should be equal to 0. Right? That is what it means. And f of 1 means when I substitute x as 1, that is the f of 1, right? So the value of the polynomial when x is 1, that is what it means. So let's replace all these x's with 1. So we get 1 cubed plus p times 1 square minus 1 minus 2. So that is 1 plus p minus 1 minus 2 equals to 0. So that gives us the value of p as equals to 2. So p is 2 for us. That is one solution which we have got. Now the second one. Let me use this space and show you synthetic division, and then we will do the third way also, correct? So in synthetic division, what do? We write down the coefficients, right, in order. Now all the degrees are there, so no zeros to be filled in. 1, then we have p, minus 1, and minus 2. We are dividing by x minus 1, which is a factor, so we have to divide here by 1, correct? So let's follow the process. Bring down 1, multiply, write it there, add it up, so we get p plus 1, multiply p plus 1, add it up, so you get p, multiply, write it down, add it up, we get p minus 2. Now since we know that x minus 1 is a factor, what should p minus 2 be? P minus 2 should be equal to 0, and that gives us the answer, p equals to 2. So this is the second method of solving it. So I think in no time you can have two solutions. But let me show you the third method, which is long division, since some of my students haven't learned synthetic division by now. So let's write down, we have x cubed here plus px squared minus x and minus 2. We have to divide it by x minus 1. Now this is very critical actually. It's not that simple because we have p here, right? It's not a number. Now let's first quotient x squared. So we get x cubed minus x squared. Now the question here is, what is px squared minus x squared equals to? That is indeed p plus 1 x squared, right? So it is px squared plus x squared. I factored out x squared. So we get p plus 1. So let's bring down minus x here. In quotient, what should I write? It has to be p plus 1. So that is critical to understand, okay? So this is a very critical part, and that's the reason why we have this test problem, okay? So this is a variation to your question in your textbook, and that makes it difficult. So let's multiply. So we get p plus 1, I mean x here, okay, x squared minus p plus 1x. Now when you take that from minus x, you get px, right? And minus x becomes 0 when you take away, and minus 2. What we will do now is Since we have to divide further, we'll divide by p, right? So we'll take plus p. Okay, let's continue. So we have p of x and minus p. So when you do that, you get minus 2 plus p, correct? So that is your last step, minus 2 plus p. Now since we know that the remainder should be 0, so let me write it down here. Minus 2, I may have to push the page a bit, okay. So the remainder should be 0 since x minus 1 is a factor, so we have minus 2 plus p equals to 0. That gives us p equals to 2. So that is the third method of doing it. It's the same division method, but you could divide either using long division or by synthetic division, right? I hope that helps you to understand all the things which you've learned in this chapter. And that is one of the reasons why we expect a problem like this in Unit 3 test. If you get it, do write your comments and share the questions which you get in your test paper. That helps me to build a very authentic set of questions for you. Thank you and all the best.